right, shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the bonds of the apostles and elders of Millstone well, and salutations to the hopeful elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth in the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in sincerity. You know, this I Rod from Great Millstone, Wisconsin, coming at you again with another live camp, coming to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great. You know, and to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great in the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, you know, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, you know, which Yahweh means he exists or he is, and Yahweh Shai means he is the deliverer, you know, because there are no other names under heaven which we must be saved. Whew. It's lucky I don't have a camera stand, you know, well I do, but the phone or camera holder piece is broken, so I have it propped up on my bag on the ground. So Salakia, this looks kind of inverted. This looks kind of weird, you know. But we're gonna roll right into prophecy, man. You know, there's a lot of things that's been happening this week, especially with big corporation ISP shutdowns, man. You know, which the United States government is basically trumped it up to being a cyber attack, you know. So, and if that's the case, then there are many cyber attacks happening all over the country at once, you know, from these other superpowers, you know, these covert operations that are happening all over the country, you know, which all of these operations are byproducts of prophecy, man. You know, it's only a foreshadow of what's to come, you know, because one, they said that they shut down the internet service provider grids, you know, all over the country. But next, you know, it's going to be a power outage. You know, that's going to be the next outage that's going to take place here in Babylon, man. You know, which is going to make people crazy because people were already irritated and crazy over not being able to use the internet. You know, so how much more the power grid, when the power grid shuts down and they won't be able to use any power, man, for a day or two. You know, this was just a test run, but there's going to be mass sedition and mass unrest that's going to happen on a grand scale that nobody's ever seen before, man. So let me just get into Revelation chapter 19, because these are the things we've been talking about. These are things that have been prophesied from you know, our elders and our apostles and elders on down, man, you know, to the grunt soldiers for years, man, and that these things were going to take place, you know. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is a spirit of prophecy." You know, so the testimony of the Lord is a spirit of prophecy, and that's why the prophets are here to testify of the things to come, man. You know, that's why we are here now at this moment in time, at the end of the world, man. You know, because we are here to prophesy the coming of a new age, man, which is the kingdom of heaven. You know, in order to prophesy the coming of a new age, the old age has to be null and void, man. It has to be destroyed and shut down. You know, so that's where we are at this moment, you know, in time. Everybody wants to know why certain things are happening, and you know why you have freak accidents and volcanoes that haven't erupted in 400 years erupting, and you have earthquakes in you know, weird places, and you know, you have civil unrest that's happening on a mass scale. You have new creatures being discovered and things of that nature. You know, that's because we are now at the end of this place. You know, so everything is being revealed, man. You know, as I just read from the book of Revelation, man. You know, to be uncovered, to be, you know, to be seen. You know, so the Lord He's letting all these things happen in the earth in order for these things to be seen, in order for you know, for people to realize, hopefully, you know, because everybody ain't gonna realize it, but you know, to realize that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is visiting the world, man. You know, this is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries." You know, so you had prophets in different countries, man, prophesying against these countries. You know, now let's see what they were prophesying of. It says, and against great kingdoms, right? You know, and an example of a great kingdom would be the Greek Empire, you know, the Achaemenid or the Persian Empire, the Roman Empire. You know, now you have the the so-called American Empire, man. You know, which is the new dragon. You know, it says, and against great kingdoms of war. You know, so we have prophesied that war is on the horizon, man. You know, not just war. You know, not just war. When it comes to being in heaven, you know, against earth, the coming World War III, you know, the civil wars, the unrest, you know, the sedition among men. So we prophesy of war, man. You know, these are things that are bound to happen in every empire, in every kingdom, man. You know, so war is inevitable. You know, and that's one thing that the prophets prophesy, right? It says, and of evil, which the word evil means of bad times, man. You know, and that encompasses a bunch of things. You know, you have bad economic times, you know, which America's headed there too, you know, as well as we speak. You know, the dollar is on its way out in as the Federal Reserve currency. You know, I think the dollar has now been debunked as a Federal Reserve currency, matter of fact. You know, especially now that BRICS has created their own currency and started trading in their own, you know, which relinquished the power of the petrodollar. You know, you have an industrial or infrastructural evil, man. You know, a bad time with the infrastructure. You know, which is also happening here in America. You know what I'm saying? You know, the bridges are breaking down. The machinery isn't as innovative as it used to be. There's, matter of fact, speaking of innovation, there is no innovation. You know, towards the end of an empire, you know, one of the signs that an empire is coming to an end is the lack of innovation. You know, the lack of things being invented, the lack of things being manufactured. You know, and to be honest with you, America hasn't manufactured anything for the last going on 30 years now. You know, so this is another sign that this place is being destroyed, man. You know, oh, another part of infrastructure is your power grid. You know, the power grid is being excessively overused, man, and getting weakened. You know, that's why you have your energy companies going up in price, man, because too much excess energy is being used. You know, so they have to go up in price to offset the amount of energy that's being used. You know, your internet service providers. You know, that grid is shutting down. You know, it has chinks in its armor. You know, so you know there's a lot of bad times that can happen to a society before it collapses, man. You know, it says, and of pestilence. You know, which means disease. You know, that's another thing. You know, of disease, and that's one thing that's headed up the pipeline, man. You have disease X. You know, which they're claiming is going to be another form of SARS, man. You know, which is going to be a cousin to the 2020 virus. You know, can't say the C word, so you know, so you're gonna have diseases out here, man. You still have I read something the other day that rabies is on the rise, man, and that rabies actually has a 99.9% fatality rate. You know, in human beings, man. You know, so if a human being catches rabies, you know, that's all she wrote for him. You know, if a human being catches rabies, that's all she wrote for you, man. You might as well say your prayers and get your affairs in order. You know, you still have malaria and Ebola, you know, tuberculosis and all these diseases that are rampant, man. You know, tuberculosis has made a comeback. Ebola has made a comeback. Malaria has never gone away, you know. So you have all these diseases that nobody really hears about that are going to flare up, man. You know, on top of that, you got STIs and STDs on the rise. You know, all these things are happening because of the debauchery and the decadence that's happening here in America, man. You know, everybody wants to do what they want, and everybody's marriage is not marriage is not endorsed anymore in this modern society. So guess what you have? A bunch of people sleeping around with each other, you know, and passing diseases back and forth. You know, nothing sanitary anymore. Everything is on a do what thy will basis, man. You know, this is how you know a society is being destroyed and broken down. You know, so the prophets are here to prophesy the things that are going to happen to a society before it falls, man. You know, so like scripture, like what's that saying? Don't shoot the messenger. You know, so the messenger is right here, man, and that's it. you know. And you got guys that claim, oh, that's not going to happen. These things aren't going to happen for another 20, 30 years, or, you know, I won't see that in my lifetime, or, you know, y'all been saying the same shit forever, right? Okay. This is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 21. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? See, that's the thing, man. You know, our people have this mentality that, you know, that oh, if it ain't happened yet, it ain't gonna happen, you know. But neglecting the signs all around them, man. You know, what more is gonna happen in 2024? You know, I hope that the lights shut out, man. I hope that the power grid goes. You know, I hope that, you know, we pray that there's another disease outbreak, man. Which the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization and, you know, the Food and Drug Administration, all these alphabet groups are supposedly arming themselves and getting ready for, man. You know, so if the government and these agencies can see what's happening, then why can't the people see what's happening? That's because the people don't give a damn, man. As long as they can, you know, live their day-to-day lives and eat food and have a little bit of entertainment, they don't give a damn, you know. And that's why people are going to get caught up in chaos unawares, man. You know, they're not going to know what's happening because they never cared enough to pay attention. You know, it says the days are prolonged and every vision faileth. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord of power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel. And that's the thing, man. You know, the Lord is going to cause it to cease, meaning all that shit Jake be talking, Jake gonna shut up, man. You know, because when things start happening, they're gonna have nothing to say. You know, they're gonna be scared shitless, man, pissing on themselves, having heart attacks, having strokes. You know, because it's only a matter of time until this power grid shuts down. You know, it's only a matter of time until the economic crash is completed. You know, so that way they can introduce the Elon Musk. You know, they can introduce that stab, man. You know, that charagma. You know, it says, Slakia. It says, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but saying to them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision. You know, and that's the thing. It says the effect of every vision. And so everything that's written in these scriptures are going to come to pass, man. You know, the social unrest, it said the social unrest, but the civil unrest, Slakia. You know, the civil unrest, the disease outbreaks, you know. You have the how do you say, the preparation for World War III is already on the table, man. You know, you already have the British Empire, British Empire. You already have Britain, and you have America that have joined the forefront when it comes to the Israeli and the Palestinian war there, man. You know, and it's no secret that the United States. There's no secret that the United States gives aid and monetary aid. Gives monetary aid to Israel. You know, that's no secret at all. You know, so the cat's out the bag. So, you know, the people understand that America isn't for Americans, man. America is for the corporate interests of other nations who they're in league with. You know, that's why America is called the whore, the great whore in the scriptures, man. You know, it says, for there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. So you got guys that proclaim themselves to be prophets and that are giving telling a vision of prosperity and of safety and of rest and of peace. You know, but the scriptures tell you, you know, when they shall say to my people, peace, peace, and there shall be no peace, man. You know, so there's not gonna be any peace for the world, man, especially the nation of Israel in these last days. You know, you got guys that have these vain visions, but the Lord said there will be no more vain vision. Why? Because when these things start happening, that these so-called prophets, you know, these pastors and these reverends, these false prophets, they're not going to have an answer, man. They're not going to have an answer for what's happening in the world. So there's not going to be any vain vision, you know, or false divination, because they won't be able to make it. you know, because there's going to be so many negative and evil things happening that they can't make a positive declaration, you know. It says, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the Lord, and will perform it, saith the Lord power. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they of the house of Israel say, the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesieth of the times that are far off, you know. And just like now, even though you have things happening on a rampant scale, you know, the Lord just cut out everybody's cut off everybody's contact with the world, so to speak, because the internet and two major internet service providers went down, man, you know. And they're in talks about it being hacked by a foreign entity, you know. So if that's something easy to do, think about all these electric cars that are driving around, that are just big ass computers, man, that could be hacked, you know. Think about the electrical grid that could be hacked, you know. Think about you know, everything that's automated in this place at the moment can be hacked, man, you know. That's just one aspect, you know. Airplanes can be hacked, falling out of the sky, you know. Trains being hacked, being derailed, you know. And we had a bunch of derailments last year, you know, so that's not too far-fetched. And now you have all these planes that are being shown to being defected, man, you know. And that's another part of the infrastructure, man. You know, you got the travel infrastructure, you know, and the travel system, and that's being shown through the internet that all this shit is defunct, man. You know, everything it has flaws in it. You know, there's infrastructure that the Americans haven't upgraded for about 30 years, man, 40 years, since the 80s. You know, so these things are now being revealed, and as these things are being revealed, more and more disasters are going to start happening, man. You know. It says, therefore saying to them, thus saith the Lord power, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but the word which I have spoken shall be done, saith the Lord power. You know, so everything that the prophets are out here teaching about, the studio shows and the, you know, the street teachings, you know, it's gonna happen, man. You know, it says it will not be prolonged anymore. You know, meaning that, oh, you thought that, you know, the Lord was taking his time. Okay, well, the Lord is about to speed this thing up, man. You know, that's why you read Matthew, it tells you that, you know, these times shall be sped up for the elect's sake, you know, roughly paraphrasing, you know, because the things that are going to happen in this world are going to get horrible. And you got Jake that really think that they're going to be safe, man. You know, you got Jake that walks around here knowing that they're Israelites and thinking that they're going to be okay, when it's not the case, you know. Because think about it, this is going to happen to Jake first, you know. Jake is going to be destroyed first, you know. Matter of fact, let me get that. And I know I bring out this scripture a lot, but you know, this scripture is very important to understand, man. This is 1 Peter 4:17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So you have judgment that's going to happen to Israel on a mass scale first, man. You know, because we're the Most High's people, man. You know, and as the Lord's people, you know, he has been rejected. You know, and as he's been rejected, the Lord is going to reject Israel, man. You know, and they're going to be the first ones to be destroyed. You know, because we were given a law, statute, commandments, not the other nations. You know, the other nations are just casualties, you know, of war, so to speak, you know, or just they're just around or in the way, you know. But Israel is going to be judged overall, man, you know. And with that, the other nations are going to have their judgment for what they've placed upon Israel in the last 2,000 years, you know. It says, and what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So if the righteous is scarcely going to be saved, you know, by the name of the Lord, you know, what's going to happen to the rest of these 2/3 of these niggas that aren't going to respect the Most High, man? They're not going to appear anywhere but in destruction, you know. And it tells you that in Hosea, man, Hosea the 4th chapter. Because one thing is that Jake loves to do. Jake loves to reject the Lord, man. And since they reject the Lord is going to reject them. So when these things come to pass, and you have sedition among men, and you have civil war, and you have the World War III, and you have all these things happening, and you have the famine, you have pestilence, you have all of these things that are going to happen, man. Jake is not going to be saved. Jake is going to be destroyed out here, along with the rest of the world. As Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So one, they'll be destroyed for lack of knowledge because they don't know anything. So they become a people as likened unto brute beasts. They have no common sense. They have no spirit in them, man. And they start to act like beasts. That's why Jake first one to jump on these animalistic trends, and first ones to delve into sexual debauchery and deviancy and things of that nature, man. So they're destroyed on a spiritual level, man. And because they're destroyed on a spiritual level, they destroy themselves on a physical level because they don't know how to take care of themselves, And also, the Lord is going to ultimately destroy them by fire, man. By really whichever He deems fit, whether it be thermonuclear fire, whether it be, Jake being destroyed, being drafted into the World War III, or if it be by pestilence or by famine, or by, being destroyed in the civil unrest, or in the collapse of society, It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, which the knowledge is the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, So 2/3 of our people are rejected by the Lord. That's why, they're destined to be destroyed, man, As it says in Zechariah 13:8, it says, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. So not only is 2/3 of Jake going to be destroyed, but also their children. So they place curses on their children, man. And you have to really think about that when you go into go into the gospel, and when Yahushua was on the cross and he was being crucified along with before he got crucified, and there was a thief, Barabbas, and they said, give us Barabbas, man. And they said, let Yahushua's, the Lord's blood be on them and their children, man. So they placed a curse on themselves, And Israel's always been placing curses on themselves by rejecting the Lord, man. Just tell you that, they always reject the Holy Spirit, So there's a consequence for that. And that consequence is the ultimate consequence, which is the loss of your life, man, which is death. That's one place you don't want to be. You don't want to be in a position to where, you end up falling into the hands of the Lord, man. Because now no one can save you. I'm laughing kind of nervously, but hey, that's really no joke, man. It says, and they were increased. It's like as they were increased, so they sinned against me. And that's the thing. Jake waxes fat. Lord gives them a little bit of substance, and they start being deviants and start being debauchers and start doing all manner of things against the Lord. So they start sinning against the Lord because they feel that they have enough substance where they can do so. But when they were destitute and broken and without hope, they prayed to the Most High, and every chance they got to get out of that situation. But then the minute they're out of their situation, they're in they're abroad, so to speak. They start to forget the Lord. That's why King Solomon said, "Give me not riches nor poverty." Give them a balance, because if you don't have that balance, then it's easy to forget the Lord, man. It's easy to curse the Lord. Because Jay gets emotional in their feelings and they decide that they won't remember the Lord anymore. So this is another reason why they're going to be destroyed. Because here in America, they think that they have everything, but they and technically, physically, they have everything, but even then they don't, but spiritually they don't have the Lord, man, but they don't even care to want to have the Lord, and that's why Israel's going to be destroyed. 2/3 of Israel is going to be destroyed. Salaki. It says, therefore will I change their glory into shame. So that glory that Jake once had, going all the way back to Deuteronomy 4, about the Lord being, about Israel being a knowledgeable and glorious people, you know, they're going to be shamed now. And that shame is shown throughout history and now throughout the world, on the internet, man. Because now all the other nations can see it, you know. That's why, when you read certain chapters like Lamentations, the second chapter, you know, where it says, this is the perfection of beauty, you know. These are supposed to be royal people, and yet these people are being animals, man. You know, this is what Israel has been reduced to. You know, a bunch of animals. And what happens when you have a bunch of deranged animals, man? They have to be put down. You know, so you got 2/3 of Jake that's going to be put down, man, before it's all said and done. It's like the scriptures say, they shall know it through death by pain. You know. It says, they eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways and reward them for their doings. So that punishment and that reward is going to be destruction, man. You know, right along with the rest of the world, man. You know, so when you see, first of all, there is a reason. This is the sole reason why you have most of Israel that are being gathered here in America. You know, that's the reason for the migrant pipeline. You know, the reason for the migrant pipeline that's coming up from Ecuador, you know, all the way up to the United States, is not only, you know, so the other nations can get their United Nations agents up here, you know, to infiltrate America, but also so that, you know, most of Israel can be in America, man. So when this place burns, most of Israel is going to be here in America, man. You know, this is all setting the stage for judgment, man. You know, not only the judgment that's going to fall upon Babylon, but with it, the judgment that's going to fall upon Israel, man. You know, you have 10 million migrants supposedly a month that are coming through that pipeline, you know. So that's 10 million Israelites a month, you know, give or take, you know, because you have Moabites mixed in there and Edomites mixed in there and stuff like that, you know, or people like that, you know, so, or nations like that. So you have all these migrants that are coming into America, that are going to be here just set for judgment. That's it, you know. So it's going to be real interesting, man, when you see what's going to come up the pipeline through 2024 and into 2025, man. You know, Lord willing, we're not here that long, but if we are, we're going to see some very interesting things, you know, such as these migrants becoming part of law enforcement and these government agencies. You know, we're going to see the charagma being pushed a lot more, you know, in conjunction with the welfare that's going to be thrown at these migrants as well. And Jake is going to sign up for all of these things, man, because they have nothing, you know, and that's going to lead to destruction, man. And the whole world is going to see the doom. See the shame in America, man. The whole world's gonna see this front row seat through the internet, man. You know, that's why they're practicing shutting down the internet and the grids, man. You know, these are all just test runs because when these places, especially America, starts going black, you know, and what it means to go black is that you have no communication with the outside world. When America goes black, that's gonna be it, man. There's going to be full reign of terror, you know. That's what's going to happen to this place. It's going to be a full reign of terror. Slakia. Man, I'm not sure if I can be heard. Hopefully I can be heard from here. You know, hopefully it's not too low and everything. But yeah, hopefully I can be heard from here. But yeah, man, these things are gonna happen on a massive scale, man. You know. Let me go into Nahum really quick. Oh, that's the spirit. It's Nahum chapter 3, verse 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft. So it says the harlot, the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, which is America, man. You know, America is the mistress of witchcraft. America perpetrates and purveys smoke and mirrors all over the world, man. You know, and the thing is that since the internet has come about and has evolved to such a level, is that all of America's shame is being laid open, you know. That's why how other nations can see the shame of this place, you know. So it says because of the well, I'll just read it again. Nahum 3 and 4 says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. You know, so the multitude of the whoredoms, meaning the multitude of the things that the unsavory things that America has committed with other nations, right? It says the well-favored harlot, because America was once one of the most favorite countries on earth, you know, and now it's slowly declining, man, you know. So once America was well-favored, right? It says the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. So yeah, these other nations are being sold through their whoredoms, man, through America's whoredoms, meaning that, you know, they're selling ideas, they're selling things that are detrimental to other cultural societies, man. You know, for example, you know, a big example is using the Arab Spring. You know, America used its witchcraft and used its military. Slovakia. So America used its witchcraft and its military to spread democracy all over the Arab Brotherhood, man. You know, and it became what was known as the Arab Spring. And this happened through from about 2010 to about 2014, man. You know, from when they pillaged Libya and they assassinated Gaddafi. You know, that's one thing that's been perpetrated through the harlot. You know, the well-favored harlot, and its whoredoms, man. You know, lock it. Yeah, so, you know, so Arab Spring is one thing, democracy is one thing that happened to the Arab Spring, and really democracy has been thrown all over the world. So lock it. Lock it. Okay. So yeah, so that's been perpetrated all over the world. So because America has been going around and selling witchcraft to the world, man, let's see what the Lord has to say about it. It says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover the skirts upon thy face. You know, so he's going to discover thy skirts upon America's face, man. Just like a woman who's wearing a skirt and is walking down the street, you know, and the skirt blows up or whatever, and she gets all embarrassed because her genitals are showing, you know. You know, that this is what's going to happen to America, man. You know, and that's a shame for that to happen to a woman, for people to see their genitals and things like that, you know, or their, you know, even their underwear, man. You know, even their underwear, it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? So like, just like it's a shame to women, it's going to be a shame to America, because the whole world is going to see the inside of America's skirts, man. You know, and guess what's being used to do it? The World Wide Web, man, the internet. All the nations are seeing America's shame, man, you know, through the internet. That's why John Rockefeller said that the internet should have never been invented, you know, because all the things that America has accomplished and has been perpetuating throughout the world for the last 100 years, you know, is being shown, you know, and that's going to even aid in the infrastructure of America being destroyed, you know, especially the political infrastructure and the trust in the government officials, man, you know. It says, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. See, so the other nations are going to see these things, man. That's why they're already creating documentaries on things like that, you know, on what America has been doing to the other nations, man. They have TV shows about it. You know, I was watching a show last night about I believe it was the early 1900s, and it was placed in San Francisco, and they had Moab in Straits, man. You know, in San Francisco, that's why you have certain big cities that have so-called Chinatowns, you know, or neighborhoods that are subjected to just a specific ethnicity, man. That's why you have Chinatown, you got Greektown, you know, you got Little Italy and things like that, because America was actually oppressing you know, other nations that came over, you know, to America to live, man. You know, and they were being oppressed and just subject to tiny neighborhoods, man, within the cities. You know, that's that type of oppression is on a world scale, just now being uncovered or released. You know, even though sometimes it's being released in the form of television shows and things like that. But hey, man, we're seeing these things being uncovered like never before. I never knew that San Francisco had a pre-prohibition era Chinatown, you know, and they're oppressing Moab, you know. You don't understand those things until you see it, you know. So this is part of the Lord uncovering those skirts, man. It says, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and set thee as a gazing stock, you know. So the whole world is going to make fun of this place, man, you know. After seeing the shame of this place, everybody's going to make fun of it. That's why you have, you know, these other nations making international commercials and ads making fun of America. You know, before the 21st century, matter of fact, not even 10 years ago, that was unheard of, man. You know, 2014, 2013, you know, 10, 15 years ago, it was unheard of to make fun of America, man. You know, because everyone was afraid of America because they didn't have the military armaments that America possesses, you know. But now, since the other nations have developed nuclear capability, they're talking their shit, man. You know, they're saying whatever the hell they want to, and they're doing things to purposely toy and offset America, man, because now they have the resources to do so. You know, which all of this bait and switch and this cat and mouse game is going to lead to you know, more war activities. You know. It says, and it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? So there's going to be a time where Nineveh, which is now modern day Babylon, you know, which is America, you know, is going to be laid waste, man, meaning destroyed. You know, who's going to bemoan for her? Meaning, who's going to weep for America, man? Especially after, you know, the hundreds of hours of content that everybody's looking at when it comes to the shame of this place, man. You know, nobody's gonna give a damn when this place is destroyed. You know, everybody on the planet is sick and tired of this place. You know, even the animals want to die, want to die to get away from this place, man. You know, this place is nothing but a cesspool for wickedness, man. You know, so when this place is finally destroyed, nobody's going to bemoan this place. Nobody's going to lament and cry and weep for the destruction of America, man. You know, if anything, you know, they won't be able to make their money. But guess what? The nation are going to be better off for the destruction of this place, man. You know. I've been seeing a lot more helicopters, man, military grade helicopters like Apaches and things. You know, you see, there's a lot of military bases on the outskirts of these cities that are gearing up for a different type of missions, man. You know, I was reading earlier. You have a Salvation Army, not Salvation Army, how do you say, Army Reserve, an Army Reserve base that was I think it was a recent victim of some type of malfunction, and there were some people that died. You know, I can't pull up the article at the moment because my phone is recording, but you know, so you're gonna have these military bases that are gearing up for things that are gonna be attacked and destroyed too, man. You know, you're gonna have people turning up, missing, all types of things, man. You know. Salakia, speaking a little bit too much. It says, "Now I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame." It says, "And I will cast an abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and shall say, Nineveh is laid waste. Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? You know? So that's the thing, man. You know, who shall seek comforters for thee? So this place is going to be destroyed, and nobody's going to really give a damn, because this all the wickedness that this place has perpetrated or perpetualized, perpetrated all over the planet, man. You know, it's Isaiah chapter 47 verse 1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground." So, you know, it says sit in the dust. The dust represents confusion. You know, so when you know, when the Lord says some sit in the dust, meaning that America, Babylon, isn't going to understand what's going on when the infrastructure starts to fail, man. You know, when this place starts to be dismantled, there's not going to be any type of guidance, you know, or any type of insight or foresight into seeing what's happening. It says, "Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." You know, so it says daughter of the Chaldeans. Now, you look at a mother kingdom or a father kingdom, you know the Chaldeans were Babylonians, man. And there was the Assyrian Empire, but then, you know, you had the Babylonian Empire, you know, which was also called, or AKA, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, because the Assyrians were Babylonians, they were Chaldeans, you know, but there was really no daughter nation that came after Babylon, you know. And it says, "Thou shalt be no more called tender and delicate." You know, that's how you know this is talking about the modern day Babylon, which is America, because when you have something that's tender and delicate, that means it's never been touched, you know. And America has never been touched. There is no major war that has been fought in this country, man, at all, you know. It says, "Thou shalt no longer be called tender and delicate," you know, meaning that there is going to be war in this place. It says, "Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh." You know, going back to Nahum, the 3rd chapter, meaning that this place is going to be exposed for what it really is, man, and the shame of America is going to be seen all over the world. You know, it says, "Pass over the rivers. Take thy nakedness shall be uncovered. See, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." See, so the shame of Babylon is going to be seen, and Yahweh Shai is not going to meet this place as a man, you know, because he came as a man the first time on earth, and he was killed, man. You know, he was murdered, you know. So this time he's coming in his full angelic power, man, in his might, you know, and his power that was promised from Yahweh, man, that was given to him to sit on the right hand side. He's going to come with all power and might, you know. It says, "As our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms." And that's exactly what's happening, you know, at the moment. You know, you're watching America slowly decline from being the so-called Lady of Kingdoms, meaning sitting at the top on this throne that's sitting on top of the other nations, to slowly declining, you know, and becoming less than, you know, almost becoming more like a second and third world country now, to be honest with you, you know. Now, it might look all jazzy on the outside, you know, but on the inside, when it comes to America's infrastructure is horrible. You know, I was watching a Japanese monorail, and it was a YouTube video, and I was just watching how, you know, they built these monorails, and they're trying to build now they're trying to so-called build a high-speed train, supposedly throughout the United States. You know, nobody knows when it's going to be green lit or whatnot, but they're in talks about it, right? And Japan has had high-speed monorails for about 20-30 years, you know, that they've had high-speed monorails. They've had bullet trains and things like that nature. China has bullet trains, you know. Even trains that that the European Union had to cross other countries, man, are faster than the trains that we have here in America, man. And that's really speaking about Amtrak. 'Cause that's really Amtrak, Metra, what do you say, Union Pacific. Those companies have very, very 1800, late 1800 train systems, and that's another part of the infrastructure that hasn't been updated since the 1980s, man. So you got things that are you have things that are happening inside the American structure that are seen from the outside as if it's still the apex, but it's not. And the other nations are catching up. That's why I told you that they shall no longer be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Meaning they'll no longer be the best of everything. It says, I was wroth with my people, I polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. And thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And this is a punishment, of how because of how Babylon treated Israel, man. Like scriptures say that that they forwarded the affliction. And this is part of the judgment that America's reaping right now. So America is in total dust. Slack out, blow my nose here, but America's in the dust. And nobody knows what's going on at all. Slack it. Back in Isaiah chapter 47, verse 7, it says, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. See, that's the thing. It's called solipsism. So the textbook definition of solipsism is that there is nothing outside of self that exists, and that's exactly the philosophy that America has taken on, being a descendant from Rome. See, Rome's philosophy was all roads lead to Rome, or lead to and from Rome, which means that Rome is a progenitor of everything righteous and wicked in the world, and that's exactly what America has become, nonchalant and not acknowledging everyone else in the world, So they say that she'll be a lady forever because they think that their houses are going to continue forever. They think that this place is going to keep going, over and over again. They don't look at this place of ever falling, or the American Empire ever falling. The thing is that okay, it's been going this long, so who's gonna stop them now? But not considering that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is going to pronounce judgment on this place, so they didn't consider. It says, so that thou didst not lay these things to heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. So they didn't even think to remember what's going to happen in the end of this place, because all empires have a beginning and an end, right? And like the scriptures say in 2 Ezra 9th chapter that the end is manifest, So they didn't even consider the latter end. Shalom, Mama. Yeah, so they didn't consider the latter end. So nobody in this place actually thought that this place called Babylon the Great is actually going to be destroyed. So when these things start happening, going back to the first verse in Isaiah the 47th chapter, when it says sit in the dust, they're not going to have any idea of what's happening. Matter of fact, let me go into Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Slack it. Just really quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So, so we're supposed to seek the Lord and, seek the Lord in our youth, while these things are happening in the forefront, while we actually have the strength to do so, So while we have the strength to do so, we seek Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So, while the prophecies aren't really taking full effect yet, while there's no chaos going around, while we still have liberty to do so, so we should be seeking the Lord in all things at the moment, right? It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, so the keepers of the house, meaning the government officials, are going to tremble because they'll have no idea what's happening, And it says, and the strong men shall bow themselves. So you have, you're going to have military personnel that aren't going to know anything what's going on. They're going to be humbled, man. So what you're seeing is the humbling of Babylon the Great, and it's only going to get worse, It says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and that's another thing that's happening along with the infrastructure, man. You have the jobs and the gross domestic product that is failing in Babylon. The jobs are going overseas, are being outsourced, and it's getting harder and harder for people to make ends meet. That's why you have inflation. You have all these things that are happening on an economic scale, man. Because when there are no jobs, that means the economy starts to get harder. It says, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and that's the point. Those that look out the windows be darkened. Meaning that you don't see any future. When you look out the window and you can see afar off, you can see down, you can see to the horizon, or you can see, at least a couple miles away. There isn't going to be any, there's not going to be any foresight to see a couple of miles away, or to see a couple of years off, or to plan, the next fiscal year, or to plan the next, quantitative easing and things of that nature. There's not going to be any of that, So it says it's going to be dark, meaning they're not going to see any future, So this place is going to be in total, utter confusion. Let me go back to Isaiah, the 47th chapter. Slack it. It says, it's verse 8. It says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, and savest in thine heart, I am and none else beside me. See, it says it dwell carelessly, and that's what America does, dwell carelessly, because nobody has come up against America. There are no countries that have actually come out and forthright threatened America for anything that it has done, except now, with Vladimir Putin in Russia. But before, there's nobody that was able to stand up to America, man. That's why he said, that's why they still say, I am and none else, meaning that America, the whole heart philosophy of America, is that they are the so-called God of this world, man. That is the sole philosophy of America. It says, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And the only reason why it's being said is because there has been no war on United States soil yet. So when it says I shall not be a widow or loss of children, meaning that they're not going to have any significant losses. That the other nations are not going to be able to put them in a position where they have any significant losses. But that's all changing with the emergence of BRICS, man. It's all changing with the emergence of these organizations that these other countries or other nations are forming against America, And that's the thing that America, in all its conceitedness and all its solipsism, does not see, or doesn't take heed to pay attention to, you know. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. You know, now this is the Lord speaking, this is Yahweh speaking to Babylon. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. So to be honest, so that's going to be a judgment. You know, the loss of children and widowhood, meaning that America is going to take significant losses when it comes to the war, man. You know, the war that's going to happen when it comes to World War III. You know, when it comes to the thermonuclear fire raining down on this place, when it comes to civil unrest, when it comes to pestilence, when it comes to famine. You know, America is going to lose, man, and that's what the scriptures that's what the scriptures are saying, you know, to Babylon, that Babylon is going to lose, man. You know, so because he said that you will lose because of the multitude of the sorceries, meaning that, you know, all of the sorcery and all of the witchcraft and all of the sleight of hand that America's been doing for the last almost 300 years that it's been been operating on this earth. You know, as a kingdom, you know, this place is going to be judged, man. It's going to be judged by the standards that it hasn't. It's going to be judged by the standards that it hasn't experienced yet. It says, "They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for their multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments." You know, great abundance of thine enchantments, meaning casting spells, man. You know. Using the medium, you know, and one of the mediums that's being used is the internet. See, the thing is that, you know, America used the internet as a means of control, just like it used its military as a means of control. You know, there's always a benefit to controlling the narrative. You know, and America's been controlling narrative for the last 50, 60 years. You know. It says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and hast said, none seeth me. You know. So that's the thing, you know, that said, none seeth me. Meaning, you know, America does its dirt in the dark. One example of that is COINTELPRO, or covert operations, you know, or not dark ops, black ops. They call them black ops, man, which are black operations, you know, meaning operations off grid. There's no paperwork on it. You know, there's nothing to trace it back to any type of military organization. And, you know, basically America does these black operations to operate independently of any government organization and commits war crimes, you know. And so they do it in secret. But that's what, though, the Lord sees you, man. Matter of fact, let me go to Luke chapter 12. So Luke chapter 12, verse 2, it says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. You know, so because there is nothing hid that shall not be revealed, you know, and nothing covered that shall not be known, meaning that America is being revealed, man. You know, and that's why they did this test run with the hacking of the internet service providers, man. You know. They hack these things so that way you can see the fallout. You know, what if we shut down the internet? What's going to happen? You know, and that's what they did. And they're going to do the same thing with the power grid. You know, I won't be surprised if, you know, one region of a city will be out, another region of a city will be out, or one city, you know, the total power grid on one city can be out. You know, they've already been testing that, but they've been using the weather as tests for shutting down certain parts of the grid, man. You know, I don't think it happened this year, but last year that's happened a few times. When it snowed a couple of times, or we had heavy rain, and a lot of some neighborhoods they didn't have any power, you know, for about a day or two. You know, this is going to happen on a mass scale, and it's going to be way longer than a day or two. You know. Sloppy. It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Yeah. Now to be perverted, meaning the thinking, the mindset, the spirit has been perverted. Meaning it's been changed, it's been altered. And America has been altered into thinking that America is the only superpower. But that's far from the truth. Now that you have Putin, you have BRICS, that are emerging as superpowers in the world. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So really, America's gonna start being hit from all ways, man. And nobody's gonna know where it's coming from. It says, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Now, I'm just gonna jump from there to Isaiah the 14th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. And that hell is talking about the thermonuclear fire that's been created from the nukes, man. Thermonuclear destruction that was introduced into the world from Babylon the Great. So that same hell that was introduced is going to be the hell that's going to destroy this place. It says, it stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, which means the leaders of the other nations. Now they have the nuclear capability, and that's where the destruction is going to come from these other nations, man. Because America introduced thermonuclear fire into the world, and these other nations have been racing to attain the same ability or the same nuclear or military ability, man, in order to fight off America. Because for years America had this almighty sword, this weapon that other nations weren't able to fight against, and now they have the science and the capability to fight against this place. So that's what's going to contribute to the downfall of this place, man, and the destruction. It says, this is back in Isaiah 47 and 11. I'll read it again. It says, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou hast not known from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, when thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments and thy multitude of thy sorceries. See, So America being so headstrong in their sorceries and their witchcraft and things of that nature, so the Lord is basically saying, like, hey, he's being sarcastic, like, hey, use that witchcraft that you've been using all over the world, to these other nations, right? It says, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, meaning from thy youth, meaning from its inception. It says, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest, it's like, if so be thou mayest prevail. So yeah, if thou be, it's like, if thou be thou mayest prevail. If so be thou mayest prevail, meaning if you can beat me. if you can use your enchantments, if you want to use your witchcrafts, you want to use your animal and your human sacrifices and things of that nature, if it's meant for you to prevail, go ahead and use it, But that's the Lord being sarcastic, because these things won't work against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, So yeah, the Lord's being sarcastic. Go ahead and use the tools that you've created. Go ahead and use the tools that you've been using all along, from your inception, from the Bavarian Illuminati, from the Thule Society, from the Club of Rome, from the Council of 300, Go ahead and use those same tactics and see if you'll prevail, It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Yeah, let your witches and warlocks come and save you from this thermonuclear destruction that's going to happen, man. But the thing is, there is no savior from the thermonuclear destruction. know, there is no savior from the thermonuclear destruction, you know. But with that, so I'm at an hour right now. I'm gonna shut this off and create a new video. So Salakia.